How's everybody doing?
Good,
Good,
Bailey.
Bailey. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Bailey, you guys recording this and sending it later then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great.
Two. 1, 2, 3.
No.
All right, guys, we'll get started. Just raise your hand in the chat and we'll go around the room. Whenever you're ready. Matt.
Hey, Caitlin. Just first and foremost, congratulations on getting to come out to the John Deere Classic. I know you're a golfer and a lover of golf. Just, how does this all come about? And what was your first reaction when you heard that the John Deere Classic wanted you to come out and do something other than basketball in the Quad Cities and at the John Deere Classic?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like you said, I'm a big golf fan. Honestly, it came about, I think, like I've known for quite some time now. So, because obviously a lot of planning has gone into this, and they just reached out and wondered if I wanted to play in the Pro-Am. Obviously, Zach Johnson's, a big Iowa name, big name on tour, and going to be the captain of the Ryder Cup. So, definitely an easy yes. It was just making it kind of fit into my schedule. Coach Bluter's letting me out of lift. I have to make up our lift that day. So shout out to her. But yeah, I'm super excited to be there and play with him. Never met him in person, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a PGA Tour event even. I've been to the Solheim Cup when it was at Des Moines Golf, which is the female version of the Ryder Cup. when I was in Des Moines. So that's really the only like big golfing event I've ever been to. So I'm really excited. Cool honor, and just gonna try to soak it in. And I'd probably be way more nervous for this than I am a basketball game.
Blake,
Hey, Caitlin, can you just tell us a little bit about your golf game? We all know your basketball game, but just tell us about how you are on the course. What are your strengths, weaknesses?
I have some power. I can hit it pretty far. Obviously, that helps when I'm lifting weights this time of the year. Um, Honestly, I've been getting some lessons recently because I need to be dialed in for this event. But other than that, my worst part of my game is my putting, which isn't good. But it's okay. I got a few days to work on it still. And Zach will carry us. I'm not worried. But I'd say my best part is probably my driving. If I can hit it straight, I can hit it pretty far. But yeah, that's what I would say my best part of my game is. Just recently got new clubs last year. So that was fun, got fitted and everything for them. But yeah, I would say that's my best part of my game and my worst part of my game.
Scott.
Yeah, Caitlin, I wanted to know just about the whirlwind that the summer is for you right now. Playing in the John Deere, but then also having all these other events. The lines wrapped from Des Moines all the way to Ankeny and back for the iCubs game. Going to the Honda, I'm sure you're going to go to the ESPYS. What's this summer been like for you, and how does how do you compare kind of all these events that you've done?
Yeah, I've been super busy, and that's how I would want it. I wouldn't want to not be busy. So obviously the Honda Cup this past weekend was really fun. I got to be around 12 other, or I guess 11 other female athletes that are the best in their sport. It's the best of the best 12 athletes across, the country, no matter the sport. I think Coach Bluter told me this morning there's 30,000 D1 athletes. So to be named number one out of all of them is pretty incredible and kind of hard to wrap your head around. And some of those athletes have played in the Olympics, will be in the Olympics someday. So I don't know if, I believe just any of them that were on that stage with me could have won that award. That's how prestigious it is and how incredible those women are. So I had a really fun time doing that. But like you said, I've been very busy. I went to Taylor Swift before that. I had my camps before I was back here working out, just like a lot of events and things. And now obviously JDC, and then eventually I'll be, going to Croatia for 2 weeks and Italy for 2 weeks. So my summer is very full, but that's how I would want it. And, we're back practicing and things like that. So life never slows down, but I'm lucky that I get to live this life, and I'm very thankful and blessed to have the opportunities that I do. And it's been really fun for me to do some different stuff that I really haven't done in the past, and experience that.
There you go.
We talk a lot about mental awareness. What does it mean? What is it about golf that makes you feel at peace when you're playing?
I think the number one thing I love about it, especially like spring, fall, summer, is it's outside. I just love being outside. But also, the mental aspect of the game. It's an individual sport. I'm lucky I play basketball. I have 4 other people on the court with me at the same time that I can rely on. But golf, like, it's just you. You hit a couple bad shots, you're the only person that can get you out of that. And that's what I love about it. It's mentally challenging. And also, I'm going to be able to do it probably way longer than I'll be able to do basketball. I'll be able to play when I'm older. Hopefully one day I can like live on a golf course or something. So that's what I love about it. But like you said, it's, you have to be mentally sharp. But yeah, it's definitely an individual sport. I always say I would never want to play an individual sport like in a competitive way, but maybe the golf is like an exception I would make. But that's what I love about basketball is it's a team sport. You have people, to surround you when you have off days. But golf, like if I show up at the JDC and I'm just not on, it's gonna be bad.
Chad.
Hey, Caitlin, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. You love big crowds and basketball games.
Yeah.
How do you feel about big crowds, big galleries behind you watching your every golf shot?
They should definitely stay behind me just in case anything goes wrong. I don't want to hit anyone. But no, I've been out playing a lot, so it's been fun. I definitely think when I step on the first tee, I will be probably shaking and really nervous. I don't know if I'll be able to tee off on the first tee, but no, I'm excited. I think it's, I think golf's amazing. People are following you for 18 holes. It's kind of different. It's not always like loud and exciting unless it's, the Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup. It's a little different feel, but it still has that environment that's really fun and competitive, and that's what I love about it. But when I've been out playing, if I've hit some like really bad shots, I'm like, uh-oh, I just harmed a pedestrian or somebody in the gallery at JDC. So, but no, I'm gonna hopefully, hit them straight, and it's gonna be fun. I've heard from a lot of people that they're gonna want to come out and support me and support Zach. So I think it'll be a really, really fun day, and I'm sure it'll be super hot, so beginning of July. So I'm just gonna try to enjoy it the best I can.
Evan?
So, hey, Caitlin, how much do you know about the TBC Deere Run course going into the JDC?
I've actually never played it. I might try to get over there in a couple days and play it. If not, YouTube. That's all I got, or I'm going in blind. But yeah, it would be nice to get over there and play before I actually have to play it. I know Chris Murray had just played it the day he got drafted, and he said it was playing pretty hard. So that wasn't good news to hear. But hopefully they let me tee up a little closer than the pros do, which I'm sure they will. But I heard it's a beautiful course. I'm really excited. Obviously, a great PGA Tour event. John Deere does a really good job. So I'm sure it'll be really fun.
McGowan? Matt? McGowan?
Yeah. Hey, Caitlin. So what's it like playing a game like golf, which is more slow paced compared to basketball?
Yeah, that's why I like kind of playing by myself so I can play fast. But no, I also enjoy going out and playing with my teammates. I'm definitely a more fast-paced golfer. I don't have very much patience, but like I said, it's very different, but it's also similar in a lot of ways. The mental aspect of both to me, I think is way more important than, any skill that you have. And I think that's kind of what I've learned over my career in basketball is, you have to be much more mentally sharp than, you're physically sharp if you want to perform at the highest level. And that's taken me a lot of time to understand, but I think it's the same on the golf course. Like you have to keep your focus from shot to shot. In both sports, there's going to be a lot of things that don't go your way. It's just how you respond to that. And I think that's, kind of how I've matured over the past year is understanding that, and just my response to when things aren't going my way, and, trying to turn it and make it go a different way and make it better.
Randazzo?
Hey, Caitlin. We got to talk to Zach a few weeks ago on a podcast, and he talked about what it'll be like out there with you. And I asked him if he's going to be talking to you a lot about basketball, knowing he's such a big basketball fan. Will you be chatting with him about golf? Will you be trying to learn what
I get
you
4
can about
hours. I get
golf?
4 hours to basically get a lesson from Zach Johnson. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be asking him everything.
And is that like something you will be like focusing on a little bit too? And then take me through your golf. Is Zach one of your guys, or who are your fan favorites if Caitlin Clark's watching a Sunday round of golf and she's going to be rooting for somebody as they get ready to win an event or something like that?
Yeah, I will definitely. A lot of people have actually come up to me like, man, you get to pick Zach Johnson's brain for 4 hours. Like, that's so cool. But yeah, we'll definitely be talking about golf a lot. And some of my favorites on the tour, obviously Zach, I'm a huge Zach fan. And what did he finish the other weekend? 29th, 27th, around there, a really good weekend for him. So that was fun to see. So hopefully he keeps the mojo into the Pro-Am and the JDC. But other than that, like I'm a huge Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy fan. And actually at the Honda Cup, Rose Zhang, who just won, she won her first start on the LPGA. She was up for the Honda Cup as well. She actually wasn't there because she had just finished 8th in the LPGA Tour event that weekend, so she wasn't able to make it. But she's one of my favorites on the women's side, and she has just graduated from Stanford, won 2 individual national titles. So she's pretty incredible. Won her first start on the LPGA, which is, I think she might be the only ever, or one of the only ever. So her and Nelly Korda are probably my favorite on the girls' side. But yeah, I watch a lot. I usually have golf on every Sunday. It's what I like to do. So I'm excited.
Scott?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself here. What are your mannerisms like on the court? Are you the type you're very emotional on the basketball court? So when you're on the golf course, are you the type that may let out a damn and end up on a t-shirt this time too, or are you very
Probably.
stoic?
I honestly I'm probably a little more calm on the golf course. But I've never broke a club, nothing like that. People probably think I would have done something like that, thrown a club, broke a club, never done that. Probably because they're too expensive and I don't want to have to buy new ones. If they were a little cheaper, I would probably do that. But I don't know. I would say I'm a little more calm. I definitely get frustrated if I had a couple bad shots in a row, but like I said, that's just part of golf. And it's fun to watch when you're watching the PGA Tour on TV and you actually see a pro. You know, the other week Rory like whiffed at the ball, so it's like makes you feel a little good when you see a pro struggle at times too. But I think that's what's so fun about it. It is challenging. It's one of the hardest games on earth. You're trying to hit a little ball into a hole that's, you know, whatever 400 plus yards or less than 400 yards away. So that's what I think so fun about it, is the mental challenge. And then obviously being outside, I love that, especially in the summertime. So yeah.
Like,
All right, Caitlin, two-parter. One, have you been to the Quad Cities before? And two, I guess if not, huge Hawkeye following here. Certainly loved watching you guys do your thing in March and early April. Just talk about coming to a place that loves Hawkeye women's basketball.
Yeah, I've been to the Quad Cities a few times, not recently. I used to actually play soccer there quite a bit when I was growing up. So I would go through it there all the time and play there all the time. My dad would take me to my tournaments there. But I haven't been there in a while, so I'm excited. It's gonna be really fun. But like you said, there's a really good Hawkeye following there. So I expect there to be a lot of really big Hawkeye fans, a lot of big just state of Iowa fans, obviously with myself and Zach Johnson. You know, a fun duo. And, you know, Zach's been a huge supporter of our team all throughout this journey. But even, you know, before that, he would reach out and message me and, you know, just congratulate me on things. So he's not new to this or a new fan of myself. So I'm excited to get to meet him in person and share the day with him because he's pretty incredible and a great ambassador for our state. And so is that whole area. So I'm excited. And I expect there to be a lot of people there. I even know people coming from Iowa City, Des Moines. So I think it's gonna be really fun.
George.
Congratulations on all your success, Caitlin. It's been a joy to watch for a lot of us. As a father of college students, how do you handle it all?
It's definitely a challenge, but I'm lucky enough that I have quite a few people around me that help me with a lot of things, get my schedule right, tell me where I need to be when. Like Bailey, he does a lot of this stuff for me, which is really nice. He just tells me, you know, you got to be here on this Zoom call, and here I am. But I think it takes a lot of planning ahead, and you know, obviously NIL makes it challenging now. I was already basically a full-time employee before that, taking school and basketball. It's like 20 hours of basketball a week in season plus 15 hours of school, and then you add NIL and everything else I want to do on top of that. So definitely can be a challenge at times, but I'm very fortunate and lucky to get to live this life. I know a lot of people would want to be in my shoes. So there's not a day I don't take it for granted because it goes really fast. I'm going into my senior year already. So just trying to soak in every single moment and, you know, a lot of planning ahead, organization skills, and, you know, just being open and communicating with people about what I need and what's going to help me be my best.
You gain so much respect by your poise and the way you carried yourself in competition. How do you feel? What do you hear from your family, your parents, people like that, when you hear professional athletes like Zach or JT Poston talk about your poise, your drive, your charisma, the way you roll? I mean, these people are professional athletes watching a college student outshine a lot of people who maybe should know better sometimes.
Yeah. I think honestly, like that's just how I was raised, is like my parents always told me to treat people how I wanted to be treated. So it's not any other behavior than I've had my whole entire life. And that's how I always try to live is, you know, one, just have fun because that's why I love doing this. And, you know, if I lost the fun of it, I wouldn't want to do it. So that's, you know, that's what my family always says, is just continue to have fun and be yourself. And, you know, the rest just comes along with that. But, my family also gets a lot of the perks that I do. So I think they enjoy it just as much as I do, is getting to meet some of the cool people that I get to meet, and, you know, getting to go to events like this or travel around the country. And, you know, I'm lucky enough to have really great supporters like them that are willing to travel and enjoying these amazing moments with me. And I'm very fortunate and lucky to have that.
Talk about your golf game a little bit. Are you at all? You don't seem to be a pretty intimidated person, but are you intimidated having a gallery following you?
Yeah.
remove your
I
makeup?
am intimidated. It's gonna be fun. I don't know. I mean, I'm a okay golfer. I'm not like anything out of this world. I'm probably better than the average female golfer, I guess. But if I had more time to play, I'd probably be a little better. But I think the biggest thing is just gonna have fun. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Who knows if I'll ever be able to get to do this again? And you know, getting to play with Zach Johnson, who's probably going to go down as one of the best golfers of all time and Ryder Cup captain. That's a really, really big deal. So, you know, I'm just lucky and fortunate, and I'm going to try to enjoy it. You know, I'm sure I'm going to, you know, spray a few balls, but that's why we have Zach.
I got a funny feeling they'll be inviting you back. Thank you.
Chad.
Appreciate it.
We got time for two more.
Yeah, I know you're soaking everything in this summer, but give me your early impressions, what you've soaked in from your workouts with your teammates. You know, you lose obviously a few key pieces. We talked about this a little bit before, but early impressions of what you see coming together for the Iowa team.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be different for us. But I think that's the exciting challenge of it all is bringing the young people along. I'm really excited about Hannah Stolke. I think that's very obvious to the outside world is she's going to be a special player. It's just getting her to believe that in herself, and getting her to believe what she can contribute to this team because we really need her. So I would say she's probably the one I'm most excited about. And then obviously our posts are going to be really battling. It's, you know, an open position that really hasn't been open in 4 years now. So I think that's going to be an exciting battle, and Coach Jay's been putting a lot of time into them. And then obviously me, Kate, and Gabby as the leaders of the team, and trying to get everybody, you know, to come along with us. And I think it's a great year for our foreign trip. This is when we really need to, you know, have some extra time to play together and see what works and what doesn't. Obviously Kylie's back from injury. She isn't fully cleared yet, but is able to participate in quite a bit of practice. So that makes me really happy. Obviously she contributed quite a bit to this team before you know, that ACL injury last year. So, you know, we're definitely going to be young. I think there's going to be a few learning curves as we go. Some of our offensive stuff will change, obviously without Monica. That's makes a huge difference. But, you know, Coach Bluter's a tremendous coach, and that's why I came here is, you know, she doesn't just keep the same scheme every single year. It's really formatted to fit her team and what's on her team. And, you know, I think there's some different things we're trying out to see what works. And like I said, we're lucky we have the foreign trip to really, you know, go out and play games and see what works and what doesn't. And, you know, it's going to be a really fun year for us. I think our fans are going to be really excited, and it's going to be here before we know it. And I'm just going to try to soak in every single second of it.
All right, last one. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, along those lines, what you know, what was it like kind of in the aftermath in April dealing with controversies, whatever they were, and how does that kind of prepare you for this summer dealing with in a high profile situation, and kind of and then everything related to Angel Reese pointing at her finger and all that kind of thing. What's kind of been your thoughts after the fact?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just for myself that I tried to do after the season is, you know, I didn't get to play another basketball game. So just trying to, you know, move on and enjoy every single second of what our Final Four was. I felt like it got a little distorted after the fact of what happened in the national championship. But I think there was a lot that our team was proud of and wanted to celebrate. You know, I understand we lost in the national championship, but we had an outstanding year and probably exceeded a lot of people's expectations. And I tried to just honestly take a month to myself and to relax, because it was a very exhausting run for myself, mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, to be able to play on that stage and in that spotlight for that long, it can be very draining. And that's something I've really tried to work on is, you know, taking time to myself and, you know, making sure my mental state's healthy, my emotional state's healthy, and physically I am healthy. And I was quite run down after that point, but, you know, the coaches made sure I wasn't in the gym too soon, which was very hard for myself. I'm just somebody that loves to be in the gym. And then, you know, after a few weeks, we got back to it. And, you know, at this point we have completely turned the page and we're on to a new season. You know, Monica and McKenna aren't around anymore. So it's, you know, flipping the book. Yeah, last year was amazing. It was incredible, but we can't live in that forever. We can celebrate that for forever, but that can't be the end all be all. There's people on this team that deserve to now rise to where their roles are. And that's what I'm excited about. And I think that's the biggest role for me is, you know, helping bring those younger people along, because they deserve to have a chance to. And, Coach Bluter's built this program to a place of excellence. So we need to continue to uphold that.
All right. Thanks for hopping on, Caitlin. I'll make sure to send out the recording of this afterwards. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Hey, thanks everybody for getting on. Hope everybody's doing well.
Thank you. Thank you, Bailey.